Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, OSU Football Edition. We are back with our weekly Buckeye podcast with the L7C founders, Byron and Cedric. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Oh, I'm living the dream.
Today, you already know how we do. We're going to talk about the game, what we like, what we didn't like, what's going on in college football, what's on the horizon for this weekend. So when we do the game recaps, we just pass it straight to the captain, and then we go from there. Go ahead, Byron.
This was a absolute trouncing Toledo. The final score was 77-21, which I never imagined we would score 77 this early in the season. We definitely went covered the over. So CJ Stroud had another amazing game, 22 for 27 for 367 yards, 5 touchdowns. He got a little bit of rest in the fourth quarter, so Kyle McCord came in 5 for 7, 115 yards and a touchdown. Had some great rushing game. Dallin Hayden, who I believe is a freshman, had 17 carries, 108 yards and a touchdown. Maya Williams had 10 carries for 77 yards, 0 touchdowns. Another rookie, being freshman, I believe, TC Caffey, 6 rushes for 57 yards and a touchdown. Trey Henderson had 4 carries, 19 yards, and a touchdown. He left the game early due to a injury. I haven't heard any updates about that, so hopefully he's good. CJ Stroud actually scrambled for a little bit, which got the crowd hyped. He had 2 carries for 9 yards. Abuka had a rush for 3 yards and a touchdown. Mitch Rossi, one of our fullbacks, had 1 rush for a yard and a touchdown. Another good receiving game. Emeka Buka, 7 receptions, 116 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Ballard, 4 receptions, 113 yards, a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr., another great game, 6 receptions, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Julian Fleming, who came back injury, had 3 receptions, 23 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We actually had some turnovers. We had an interception and I believe a fumble recovery. So we did get that turnovers that most fans have been looking for on our defense. So overall, it was a good game. We'd like to shout out the Toledo quarterback, Daquan Finn, 10 for 19 for 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but he also had 7 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown, which I tried to tell the defense, watch out for him because he will rush if he has to. And he did bust us for like a long gain of 23 yards. So overall, very good game. The only thing I had that I didn't like was that, we didn't really cover Daquan Finn, but he had a great game. If he had stayed in longer, they probably would have scored more because they did score 21 points. But otherwise, yeah, I enjoyed the game a lot.
I mean, like you said, L7C literally said last week, if it's going to be anyone, watch out for the quarterback. I mean, we said it, and he threw a 50-yard bomb right after OSU scored to tie the game.
Yep. That drive only lasted 46 seconds, and we were tied 7-7.
Like, he was doing his best to keep Toledo in the game, and just his defense did him no favors.
Not at all.
They got no stops and all that. And just also for Toledo, too, they're going to be in good hands because Finn is only a sophomore. So yeah. Be careful for anyone playing Toledo going forward. Just be real careful. Cedric, what did you like about what you saw during the game?
So I'll be honest. When this game was going on, I was trying to listen to Playboy Cardi and Kid Cudi. However, I did watch some recaps and everything. Just because we love to talk about the things that we call out right. We told y'all to wait on the defense, right? Just take your time, be patient. Those turnovers will come, and here they are. Mana has fallen, and just take your time. Honestly, I think this is like a true potential, like our offense playing to its full potential. I know Smith and Jigma was just back. It was a good time too. I mean, no offense to Toledo, but Mac school, good time to work on the leg, make sure everything's fine, make sure there's nothing lingering, anything like that, so he doesn't have to feel like he has to carry a heavy burden. I mean, I think it's been clearly pointed out and at least shown, and if not from this game, I don't know what will. I mean, we have 3 receivers over 100 yards receiving, multiple touchdowns. I think it's safe to say that we can trust this team and this offense to produce, even in dire straits if our best guy isn't getting the best show out there, that there's still a lot of weapons at our disposal.
You're 100% right on that, because you look at Stroud and how he was tossing the ball. Jackson only had 2 catches. I mean, and Fleming only had 3 catches. People who just came back, people like Cade, Harrison, Ballard, and Mecca. You see what Brian Hartline does in recruitment, because this is crazy. Because our best receiver, Jackson, hasn't even gone off yet.
Oh, and that's the crazy thing, is that he hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Good Stark County right there, Brian Hartline.
Yeah, I mean, he recruits them well. I really have nothing to add on the offense, and because they were just humming, and CJ Stroud has yet to throw a pick 2, and even McCord got in and got a touchdown. We got the turnovers that we wanted. I mean, I have nothing to add positively. The only thing I would say, I don't want to say it's a negative, but each game, teams are scoring more points on us. I don't know if you guys have peeped.
Oh, yeah, I've peaked.
That's the only thing. Because it was we weren't giving up touchdowns. And then, as Byron said, took 40-something seconds, deep ball, boom. And then we're like, oh, maybe we should listen to the L7C podcast and have a QB spy. Cedric, it was probably one time during the concert, Finn juked the dog shit out of one of our spies and scored. I was like, oh, boy.
Hey, you know what, though? The biggest takeaway from last time was a ton of penalties, just giving up 3 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying 1 penalty.
Yeah.
That entire game, 1 penalty.
Oh, they did really well. That'd be the only thing. I'm like, well, just listen to the podcast. You know what happened. Just saying. But it is what it is. That. But we go from that to another night game. This one on ABC. It's the first Big Ten game for the season for us, and we're going against Wisconsin Badgers. Currently, the spread is 18 points. So, I mean, last game was the first game that OSU was covered. You're going into the...
Knowing that, people probably lost money. Because they're not going to cover.
True.
So, we know Wisconsin from obviously the years past of them producing fantastic running backs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cedric, Byron, what are you guys seeing in this first? It's a blackout, too. You guys didn't know they announced that. It's a blackout for this Saturday, so that atmosphere is going to be a little crazy. What are you guys expecting in our first home Big Ten game of the year?
I'm expecting Wisconsin to come out and try to hit us in the mouth because, like you said, it's a first Big Ten game, I believe, both schools.
Mm-hmm.
And we always play hard. Well, the conference always plays hard against us. Everyone's trying to get to that Big Ten championship game, so I expect Wisconsin to come out and try to hit us in the mouth hard and fast. Just looking at their stats, their rushing leader, I think his name is Bart Allen, has 50 carries for 332 yards and 5 touchdowns. So I'm always worried about the running back from Wisconsin because, like you said, they've produced stars the last couple of years.
Cedric, what are you looking at in another primetime night game for OSU?
I'm always nervous with night games with us just because they're always rough. I mean, looking, like Brian said, that running back is going to be an issue. I mean, 5 touchdowns already, and we're 3 games in. So we know he has a couple games with multiple touchdowns. On the ground, I mean, over 300 yards rushing by himself. And it's going to be, I think this is going to be the time where we have to figure out what this defense looks like, because this is a good test. Again, I mean, I know we had the Notre Dame game, but that was the first game of the season. I think there's still some fine tuning going on. But I think this is a good test for Big Ten football. Honestly, like, we know that there are several talented running backs in this conference, so this is our first bite at one. Hopefully we can. I mean, I'm honestly excited to see what type of changes we see here, because I know the last time we played like a premier back in the Big Ten, Ibrahim, and he was kicking our ass until he got hurt. So,
and he's still playing really well right now.
So I'm curious to see what type of changes there are on the defense, and understand that, like, hey, like, this team runs the ball. I mean, the team throws the ball too. I mean, 62 passing attempts isn't nothing to scoff at. Like, that's a lot in 3 games for college. But I do like the fact that this guy's thrown 2 interceptions. That makes me feel a little bit hopeful. Maybe we'll get some good turnovers that the people have been crying for.
Yeah, I just want to, since we brought him up, Minnesota is undefeated right now, even though we don't play them this year. Ibrahim already has 464 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns.
Jesus.
Wow.
Who have they been playing?
I can get, because we brought him up, I can bring him up right. They just beat Colorado. They played Western Illinois. They played New Mexico State. They got Michigan State this weekend, so we'll see. But he's still out here. 7 touchdowns already. Just to put in perspective, he has 7 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, he has 7 rushing touchdowns. CJ Stroud has 11 passing touchdowns.
Like, yeah, but like, we also have like 8 receivers that are like, that would be the number 1 receiver at almost any other school in the country.
That's true.
Like, this is one man. That is one man wrecking crew
running the ball. So,
like, I imagine his line has to be amazing, but this is one man wrecking crew. Like, you know what's like, easiest way to try something, you stack that box and just pray to God it works. Like, but that's not working because this man got 400 something. Jesus.
Yeah, 3 games in 3 games. So we'll be well over 500 in theory. But just to keep our eyes out on Minnesota, even though we do not play them this year unless we meet them in the Big Ten championship game. But we got a long way to go before that. But I think with Ohio State blackout, I think everyone thinks they're going to cover now because of the 77-point explosion. I think if we get an early lead again, Wisconsin they won't be able to keep up. Now, if they do what Byron says and they really like muddy this game up, then you might have some problems. But if it's clear skies, no weather, CJ Stroud just boom, 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 they can't keep up.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to. The running back's name is not Bar Allen, Braylon Allen. But yeah, I agree.
I don't think we're gonna score 77 again, but I can see like a 48 ball.
48 ball?
I can see a 48 ball in good weather. Because I think they're gonna try and establish the run some more.
Us or Wisconsin?
Us, because I mean
us, yeah.
Because then we got Rutgers on the 1st at 3:30, and then every other game currently is still to be determined except Michigan at 12.
Of course.
So we're already getting close to October, man. Like, college football is quick. Like, after this Wisconsin game, we're already going to be like a third of the way done.
Which is crazy to think about.
Oh my!
This will be the 4th game of the season.
Yeah, it's not like, we don't get a bye until we have Michigan State the 8th and then Iowa the 22nd. Get a little bye there. Well, let's do our favorite thing and go talk about, the current rankings of college football. Buckeyes did not move. They say third. Alabama say second. Georgia's still the number one team in the land. I think the craziest thing, which I was just telling before we recorded, is Michigan State was last week. Let me make sure the exact number. Last week, they were number 11. This week, they are unranked.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
They lost to, what was it, Washington, Byron?
Yeah, Washington, who was unranked.
Who was unranked. So Michigan State went from 11 to unranked. And I believe they were a favorite, but not that big a favorite. Texas A&M was number in the top 8. They were like 6 or something. Lost to Appalachian State, who they were projected to win by 30, and they get to stay in the top 25.
Come on now, don't let me say it.
The bad thing is that's the only thing when I saw the polls, I'm like, wait, how did Michigan State go from 11 to unranked? But now Texas A&M, who won a sloppy game against Miami, they get to be at 23, and Miami's now at 25. And also, shout out to Penn State absolutely destroying Auburn.
Good. Moved up a good 8 spots for that.
Which I don't know if you guys saw the game. They got some players over there again.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was score watching, but I didn't watch it like on TV.
Yeah, they got some
All I
players.
know is just wait, man. Just wait. Auburn gonna win one game. They gonna be like a top 20 team somehow. After getting dusted like that by Penn State.
Auburn's gonna be in the top 20. No matter what happens, they will be in the top 25 before that Alabama game.
Mm-hmm.
And just for people too, how we talk about just the AP poll and all that currently, because the college football playoffs that doesn't start till like end of October. Mm-hmm. But for the people who don't know how the AP poll works, it's 61 sports writers and broadcasters from the whole country who get a vote individually. They vote on a point scale, like number 1 gets 25 points, and then you work your way down. Then they turn it on, and then these ballots are made public each week. Maybe we need to start looking up, start reading people's ballots out loud on the pod.
See how many people voted for SEC teams?
Maybe, because some of these people, which I also had the issue with the college football playoffs, a lot of these people don't even watch the games.
Yeah, I don't know how you get to have a vote if you don't watch the game.
Like, can someone tell me why Penn State is currently 3-0? They're at 14. Number 1 through 12, they're all 3-0. They're ahead of them, whatever. Why is Utah 2-1 ahead of Penn State? If you're going to put all the undefeated teams 1 through 12.
No. And the funny thing is, they lost to Florida that first game, but didn't fall off the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and Florida was unranked.
That's also because Florida been whooping ass.
And Florida's 20 now. They did lose to Kentucky, who Kentucky may be for real. We don't know.
Yeah, they are number 8 right now. 3-0.
We don't know. And like for Cedric,
and they play Youngstown State. I'm sorry.
They're playing Northern Illinois this week, but there's a lot of
that's such like what? Who's makes these schedules?
The SEC. Think about it. We're playing a night game against Wisconsin, 7:30 ABC. Georgia is playing Kent State.
Well, we can't say too much because we just got done playing Toledo.
True, but that was our last before. Now everyone's going into conference play, and Georgia's like, before we go into conference play, let's play our 4th game against Kent State.
I mean, yeah, there's a soft spot in my heart because I need them to just really, truly fuck over Nick Saban. I know he's paying them money right now. that Zell is popping.
But there's
man, he's too rich to be using Cash App or Venmo.
That's true.
Hey man, Lincoln Riley, they Zell it up.
Oh, not well. A lot of people are starting to believe in USC. They're currently 7th in the country right now.
Is it bad that I believe in them more than Kentucky?
No, it's not
No?
because Kentucky is eventually going to have to, because they're in the SEC East. They already beat Florida, but they would have to play. Let me actually pull their schedule. I mean, they'll have a date with Georgia, November 19th. And they also have to play Tennessee, which Tennessee is the number 11th ranked team in the country.
They play Florida this weekend.
Yep. So that's the old Rocky Top game. You also got number 5 Clemson versus number 21 Wake Forest this weekend.
Oh, that's a thriller right there.
And you got number 10 Arkansas versus number 23 Texas A&M. And I'm gonna say it right now. I'll be the first one to say it. Jimbo Fisher gotta watch out, man, because I think he's on hot seat central.
Oh, you think he lose? He gone?
I'm gonna tell you, this is my thing. Whenever he gets this next loss, and it is not to Alabama or Georgia, after that loss at Appalachian State, them boosters gonna have to walk up. He's like, yeah, we tired of paying you. It's time. They paid him $95 million, and he hasn't produced a darn thing for them. He got him one win against Alabama.
I'll say he beat Alabama. And he almost beat Alabama. That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah, but $95 million. You're supposed to be going to the playoffs.
Man. Hey, I don't know, man. There's a guy in our conference who gets paid a shit ton of money, and until like last year, he really wasn't doing shit.
Exactly.
That's
true.
And they love the man.
But Harbaugh already went to the playoffs. Jimmy, I can't even call him Jimmy B. Jimmy F. He ain't even gone yet.
Hey, he in a tough conference, man. You know, like they send 3 teams.
Not by fairness.
That's why he's excited. Listen, he's like, I'm gonna roll. My goal is just to get down there, number 6, chill for a minute. We'll see you guys in 2026 when we get that extended, and I'll be there, number 5, a smooth number 5 at the end of the season.
We'll see, because we got the 24th again. They play number 10 Arkansas. That's gonna be on ESPN. Then they got Mississippi State on the 1st, and then that 10-8 at Alabama, where everyone's going to be after that game. The smoke is too real over there.
I feel like they have to make that a night game.
I'm rooting for week 5. I need Arkansas to beat Alabama.
That's possible. Alabama's not invincible. Texas showed, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how that always goes. Texas showed us the way, and then Alabama's like, we're going to drop 60.
I mean, if your boy Nick's like, yeah, them refs aren't working for me. Time to get some new ones.
I mean, we got Bryce Young who's like, listen, y'all made my Heisman stock go down. We got to get this back up.
I mean, it did help he threw 2 interceptions last game against ULM.
Oh, but they didn't post those highlights all over the place? I didn't even see them.
No, I didn't see. I've been tracking his stats compared to CJ Stroud to see who's better. Of course, CJ Stroud is because he hasn't thrown any interceptions. But yeah, Bryce Young threw 2 interceptions against UL Monroe.
You know, I also get tired of the talking heads on, especially ESPN, because obviously we know they're about to be all SEC in a couple of years, but they really be treating Ohio State sometimes, like the past couple of years, like we're just some afterthought. I get it. We haven't won the title since 2014. The last time we were in the championship game, Devontae Smith almost hung 100 on our heads. But y'all ain't about to act like we just suck. Like ever since that Heisman Trophy it was between Kyler Murray and Tua. And if Tua never got hurt, Kyler never would have won. But they made it between those two. And Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, threw 50 touchdowns, and they treated him like he threw 12.
A shame.
Ever since then, I'm like, I was hearing people like, oh, Ohio State might be in Alabama and Georgia's class. I'm like, Okay. We lose one game. We lose one game to Michigan. Also, shout out to all those OSU fans who were like, oh, yeah, I want Michigan to be good. And you saw what it was like, and they ended our season.
That was going to bounce back.
Still wish that.
That was going to bounce back.
I'm just saying. They were like, oh, yeah. When they finally experienced that Michigan L, and then we're sitting here and Michigan's going to the playoffs. Which they're number 4, and even though they have played scrubs, they've at least been shellacking the scrubs.
Yeah.
Look, all I know is CJ Stroud wins that trophy at the end of the season. Desmond Howard better be there.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to Desmond Howard, whose playoffs predictions all died.
The only one I remember is Pittsburgh. I don't remember the other 3 he had.
Yeah, Texas A&M. Which I won't lie, if they win the SEC, they're gonna go, but they ain't winning. They ain't winning no more. No, that's dead. They might eat my words, but nah, I might eat them, but no. So it's Texas A&M, Michigan, Pittsburgh, and was it Oklahoma or USC? Something crazy. I can just look it up because it was wild, and I was really trying to think if they all go undefeated, but
I don't even think Pittsburgh's ranked anymore.
Nah, they're done. Like that boy was talking. The internet nearly imploded on Desmond Howard's picks. Oh, he had Baylor, Texas A&M, Pittsburgh, Michigan, and Baylor.
What the fuck?
And all these teams are lost by Michigan.
Yep. Baylor's still ranked at 17.
Yeah, but they already lost. They lost to that. Yeah. They were part of the Sun last week when everyone was losing
the Sun Belt.
And speaking of that, shout out to Brother Freeman winning his first game as a head coach.
Good.
And Notre Dame, because I already knew. I know that. I already knew what those people were saying down there. Take it for what it's worth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What they were probably saying about him.
I know.
Not the polite word.
Saying that's why we don't hire these people. I already know what they were saying. But shoot. All right, what's CJ Stroud's stat line going to be this weekend?
Against Wisconsin. Let's see. Let's see what their defense looking like. So they allow 260 yards per game for passing.
Mm-hmm.
I think CJ Stroud could go over that. I'm going to say 300 yards, at least 300 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Cedric, does Jackson Smith and Jigba get one of those touchdowns this weekend?
I think so, right? Like, I think teams will stuff the shade and cover him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he gets one of them. I mean, you see the talent that's out there on the field. I know, depending on if he's full speed, everything, I know Shaw will be excited to try to get him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that'll break open the offense, especially open up the run game for sure. So I think Smith and Jigma does get. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a couple of them.
Ooh, I like it. Cedric, any turnovers this weekend? Buckeyes force any turnovers
from Stroud?
No. Buckeyes force them from Wisconsin.
Oh, I was about to say, man, bro, Stroud ain't turning the ball over. But honestly, I can see us getting 2 picks. I don't think he's going to put the ball on the ground. I don't think the running back's going to put the ball on the ground. Denzel Burker time is coming. I'm going to shout you out this one time. Prove me right, man. You getting one of them.
I will say the linebackers have been the best part of our defense. Them corners are low-key getting cooked.
Low-key get cooked. Especially that one that got cooked on that was like a 70-yard bomb. I don't know his name, but he got cooked.
I know that's Cedric's favorite part of the Buckeye team, always the corners.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Like, don't be getting cooked this early.
Yeah, and they still got a long way to go. I'm looking at that Penn State game at the end of October, depending if Penn State continues their path, but
I hope so.
Oh yeah, I love when Penn State. That's a team I actually like when they're actually ranked high and really good. That's why I was so mad when they lost that 9 overtime game. to Illinois because Penn State, we've had some good games against them the past couple years.
Oh yeah,
and completely not really on topic but off topic. Did y'all see this dude Eli Manning dressed up and trying out at Penn State?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Chad Powers, man. If only you had some eligibility left, man made the cut, boss.
That was funny.
That's a man. Like that's a man that has too much time on his hands. Like imagine that for a second. Like you're a retired professional athlete, and you just don't got really shit else to do. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kick it at the college campus, throw a couple footballs, try out, let's have a good day of it. Like let's have some fun.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That was a very funny thing, especially with Penn State. Like that was funny. You're like, Eli, what are you doing, man? You might need a new hobby.
Maybe. I mean, I know some professional teams that could use a quarterback.
Oh no. I don't think he wants to go back there, but I don't think he wants to get hit like that.
That's true.
Well, we'll see. But with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to L7C Podcast. We got the Buckeyes coming out on top against Wisconsin. Expect some things from CJ and Jackson this game. We'll be monitoring those other top 25 matchups in the SEC, especially with Tennessee, Florida, Arkansas, Texas A&M. Telling you, Jimbo's on the hot seat. Be careful. Be careful. I already see them. If Kentucky keeps doing well, I see them looking at Mark Stoops to replace him. Throwing that out there right now.
Wait, you say Mark Stoops is going to replace Jimbo?
Oh, yeah. Kentucky won't pay him enough. Texas A&M, remember, Jimbo was bragging. They got the most NIL money, and their players can't beat Appalachian State. Remember. And they expect to go beat Alabama is going to kill them. Oh, my God. Because Nick Saban is evil. He's going to read all those receipts where Jimbo's like, Nick's a snake. I don't talk to him no more. Like Cedric said, Nick is going to have that good meeting with the refs.
So you've been reading the good gospel, I hear.
Like,
I already see the world that Nick Saban has been creating for these SEC coaches.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot, I'm like, dang, it really be your own people.
Really does.
Jimbo was that man's full assistant. It really is his own people. He said, Nick Saban said, we don't buy our players like Texas A&M. I was like, wow. I'm like, that's your own dude coaching over there.
Man, I can't wait for that game.
It's going to be... Now that's a team that's going to be vengeful. Remember when Ohio State had to drop 59 on Wisconsin again to the playoffs because we were like 6 and we had no choice?
Yep.
Nick Saban going to have that same mentality. He's going to tell them refs, call every pass interference, everything. We want points.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be crazy. But that's 2 weeks away. But with that being said, thank you everyone listening to L7C Podcast. Make sure you like, rate, comment, subscribe everywhere you listen to. If you listen to on YouTube, make sure you follow, subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening to on Spotify anywhere, subscribe to it so you get all the updates from the L7C. If you got a Discord, join the Discord. Community's been growing a lot recently the past couple weeks, so appreciate that. YouTube's been booming a little bit, so appreciate all the love, and we're on our way, chugging along.
The YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
The YouTube? Yeah. I've always wanted to say this. Yo, ring the bell. Just hit that bell down there.
Hey!
Yeah. Now y'all listen, just ring that bell one time for us.
Yes, and then on a side note from the YouTube thing, all the guys, like people who are commenting on videos, really appreciate it. But just I'm gonna say this one time: if you want a deck list from us, join the Discord. We about to just start giving that stuff out for free. Come on now. Just saying.
You can at least join me in Discord.
Yeah, bros. Oh, yeah. People are asking for stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to join the Discord, but I want the deck list." Like, bro, what?
Mm-hmm. Man, you better pause that video.
It's the L7C Podcast signing out.
thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.